Hello everyone, I'm Esperanza and this is Art from the Heart at St. Augustine's Church, and today our subject still turtles. Yes, we will be painting this turtle, the one I'm holding. This was a painting done in our previous session in class, so we are going to do this online as well. And we will start with really basic shapes that we can follow, and by the end of the session we should have an output very similar to this one. So let's make a start. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is to draw the sketch. The sketch is not difficult. We will start with this big piece over here. So this is just like a leaf. So we now have that in this area. And the next thing we're going to do, but you don't have to do this, but this would make things very easy. So I'm going to divide this leaf-like shape into two equal parts. Pretend this is equal, though it doesn't necessarily have to be really equal. My straight line is not really that straight, but that should be similar to this line over here, dividing the shell into two equal parts. And the reason we need that is because I would like you to draw a parallel line to this bit here. So we have a parallel line to this one, well, almost parallel. And at the point where it touches this line, I want you to draw a sort of curved line connecting to the rest of the upper shell. So we have that. So that's this piece over here. So we have this and that. Now the next part would be the head. So what we do is just connect this and draw it's some sort of a square rectangle, really. It's a short, it's a rectangle, but just, it's not so elongated. So it's closer to a square, but since two sides are longer, it would still be a rectangle. So from here, we just draw a curved line going down, and then a small curved line here at the end. And then we draw this wavy line here for the mouth and the eye, which looks like a droplet. So if we look at it this way, it's actually really like a droplet. So what we're going to do now is to erase the square just to avoid any confusion. So here, we connect this, oops. Okay. And then here, curved, as what we did earlier. And now we need the legs. So to do the legs, I'll start here on this bit here. I want you to draw a rectangle like that, okay? And this draw a curved line here, and a curved line here going up to the middle. More of a wavy line. Okay, so if we erase the guideline, okay, and just draw that again. So this is still the side of the original rectangle, and then this is the wavy line, curved line, and that's one of the legs. And then we draw some sort of a parallel line here to this one and connect it to that point where it seems to be becoming smaller. Okay, now we have one leg, which is this one. We have the eyes. Okay, for the eyes, I would like you to draw another smaller droplet inside, a circle, and a smaller circle. Okay, so that's the eye. And then we draw these three other legs. So we start with the biggest one, which is closest to the viewer. Okay, so if we draw a perpendicular line to this, okay, we have a line here, a reference line. And if we have a line dividing this two, okay, so we have like 45-degree line. Okay, so let me just mark that. Okay, and then, so that's my 45-degree line, so like that. Now, if I draw a line parallel to the page, to the side of the page, I have it here, okay? Okay, that's my 45-degree line, and that's the line parallel to the page. So what I do, okay, would be just to mark this like that, just to get an estimate of thickness, so we don't exceed this part. And from here, I draw a line going to the center. So now we're going to have some sort of a triangle. And then here, another straight line. So that is our next rectangle. Okay, I'd like you to draw a line here again, because here we need more of a triangle. It's just basic shapes really. And the only problem that we would be having here would be confusion on which lines go where. So to avoid that, I will delete the excess lines so that you can see the shape. The actual shape would be like a, well, like a rectangle and a triangle over there. So that would be the shape. So this one now, I will shape the legs by drawing a curved line going in, and here as well, curved line going in. Here, same thing, curved line, curved line. So now instead of the parallel lines, we have like two curved lines going into going towards each other on both ends. Now here, okay, we curve outwards to the tip, curve outwards, okay. So in effect, okay, we have drawn our leg, or flipper or flapper or whatever you may call it. I'm not really familiar, well, with the scientific names of the body parts of the turtles, of turtles. Okay, let me remove this as well because we won't need this anymore. Okay, now we just need two more. And here, another rectangle. Here, a smaller rectangle. And of course, what I'm gonna do is just to make it a little bit wavy. Make sure it's realistic in a way. And by that, I mean I don't draw a corner inside and that it closes and that it's closed when it touches the line. You know, we don't leave any open spaces. And similarly, this one, we would do the same thing like that. And then go straight there. No open spaces at the end. Okay. So let me draw that. Okay, fantastic. Let me just draw the lines again for the sketch. Okay, so we basically sketched the shape of our turtle, but we're not finished because we want to achieve a certain image. This, for example, these are white spaces. That means those spaces should not be painted. Okay, to do that, we have to draw parallel lines on the shell of the turtle. Okay, and here is the pattern of the lines. Okay, pattern of the lines. Okay, so this is how we would paint our turtle. So this would be the pattern of the lines. They should be parallel lines, wherein we are not going to paint the middle part, just like those. And then here, these are zigzag lines. Let's draw it lightly, they're just guidelines. The lower part would be large shapes, more flat, wide shapes. Middle part would be elongated ones, long elongated ones, and the top one would be short shapes. And that would be the same here, here, and here, except here we don't have the area where it's the small shape. So here it's similar, but we end here where it's elongated, so just two parts. And this is a different part of the limb. So this would be in a different color, as you can see, which is darker, like gray. So I hope I've explained it clearly. If not, you can just go back, pause the recording, go back, and try to see, try to look at the image to see what I'm trying to say, or you can play it from the beginning, or maybe it's better if you see how it's actually painted first, because I think that would be easier. That would explain it better. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do here is to draw a line which is almost parallel to this curved line. Yes, as I mentioned, almost, but not exactly. And then I will draw a line parallel to that, which is the white space I've been talking about. And here, another line like that, and the parallel line to that. And then here, another line like that, and the parallel line to that. And then here, okay, a line there, parallel line. And I love this bit. This is when we erase the intersection of the lines, like this one, this one, this one, this one. Oh, here as well. This will make it. This will make them appear like independent plates, like that. Here as well. Here, 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 here. Oh, and this one as well. Here. Okay, looking good. Now we'll do something similar here, but more of cubes. So, okay, parallel line, parallel line, parallel line, parallel line, parallel lines. Okay, and then we'll do something similar to this. We will erase the intersection of the lines on this part. Fantastic, that is beautiful. And here it's really important that we do the drawing well, because painting this would be very easy. Trust me, it is so easy as long as we've done the drawing properly. See? Did you see what I did there? So now they're similar to this part, wherein it's like they're independent plates on top of something. Okay, now we'll put the zigzag guidelines. Okay, we start here at the end. And and they don't have to be perfect zigzags. Again, the purpose of this is just to guide us and prevent us from going over that area. Though in some cases we might, but you know, just to give us an idea on where to go and where not to go. Okay, that's done. And then we do the same thing here. And then same thing again here. Okay, and that's it. the drawing is done. It's now time for painting. And again, I did say that painting this one is really very easy. Again, it's all based on your drawing. So if you did the drawing, if you didn't miss any areas, then it's good to go. Okay, the first area I would like to paint would be the body, wherein I'm going to use yellow ochre. Okay, so yellow ochre. And I will start here from the end. There we go. And then let it be thinner here and transition thinly. Well done, me. Okay, and here as well. So here we paint it with yellow ochre, and then going up to here, the bottom of the head, the lower part of the head rather. Okay, now can you see the straight lines here created by painting it wet on dry? Okay, we have to eliminate that by painting water, soften it, create some sort of feathering effect here as well to make the transition of color smooth. Okay, so we've done that bit. Now, okay, I am going to paint half of this with the burnt umber. I'm going to paint it with water first. Okay, please dilute the burnt umber. If you have too much paint, please do lift it to make it lighter. And the reason why I painted this part with water first is to make the transition smoother, because it's a relatively big area. For this one, it will do the same. Again, a little bit of burnt umber. Lift excess paint. There we go. And again, same here. Okay. Now we just have to do one more leg. Okay, perfect. Here, we start from the middle bit, going up. That's the second line here, the straight line. Because as I mentioned, the lower part is found underneath the flapper. Okay, so I paint this with burnt umber. Again, we'll remove the excess paint. Okay, fantastic. Now, I need some burnt sienna. Yes, burnt sienna. We will paint in this part. Okay. So just let it naturally mix with the yellow ochre. And then on this part, we are going to put some burnt sienna as well. But here, more of shapes. Okay. So we're painting some shapes here, like that. Okay, soften it a little bit. Okay, now we need some black paint. Yes, I know it might sound weird. Why paint it black now? Okay, what we're trying to do is to create some shapes here, square shapes, or like angles. These are supposed to represent scales. Yeah, you could actually paint squares on this portion, but you can also just paint three sides of a square, so not the full square. Um, Angles, that's two sides, or maybe the full square. So it depends on you. What do you think is more appropriate for your art piece? Remember, you are the artist. Okay, let's put more scales. Okay, we're doing very well. Okay, now as you can see here, you can really see the edges. So I'm just going to soften that a little bit by painting one side with water so that it transitions smoothly. Then brushing it like that. Same here in this flipper. And then I'm just going to just run a brush stroke of water on it. Lift some of the paint. And there we go. We now have our scales. So next thing we're going to do is to paint this area. So this is going to be burnt sienna. So let's paint it with burnt sienna. And this will just be the area above the mouth. Okay. And yes, I'm spreading the burnt sienna across this area to the body so that the transition is smooth. Okay. Now, more of the black paint here, small random shapes. Okay, that's perfect. Now, this is a challenging bit because I find this part tedious. It's making those small brown, dark brown patches. But let's do it. Let's see how you feel painting this area. So I am now going to paint here, starting from the end, those small shapes. Well, not too small, but remember, they shouldn't exceed the guideline. Or we'll try not to exceed the guideline. Okay. Some will be bigger than others because of the shape of the zigzag we did earlier. And some would be pointy, some would be flat. And we've done it. Now, the next thing to do would be the elongated lines or shapes. So for those, we do that. Too much paint. Let me lift that. Okay, let me start here. Yeah, if they touch each other, it's okay, but try not to let them do that because we don't want the paint to spread. It will be kind of messy and we won't be able to see the shapes. Okay. Again, let's try not to exceed the zigzag lines we uh, drew here on the top part. Wow, that's looking good. Okay, now we need to do small shapes here, small random shapes. Yes, again, if we touch the elongated shape, that's okay, but let's try not to do that. So these are more of drops, well, just a little bit bigger than drops. Okay, fantastic. So we've done one of them. So how do you find it now? Does it look more realistic? Okay, well, I hope it does. And then we'll do the rest. So again, bigger shape. This would be easier because this one is smaller than this. And then the elongated shapes. And then the small shapes here, which are more like droplets than anything else. And we've done that one. Now off to this one. And then the droplets, or droplets like shape or size. So we've done, let me just finish stuff like that. Okay, so we've done those three. Now this one. Okay, again, this one is only up to the elongated bit. Okay, so let me do that like so. Okay, so we've done all the flippers. Now it's time to do this lovely shell. Okay, I think I've just oh dear, I've just spread the brown paint on the ocean floor. Is this the ocean floor? No. Okay, so we've lifted up just to make sure it looks clean. Later on we can paint the background. Okay, for this one we'll do it one by one. Sorry. The first color that we will use would be blue. Okay, so blue would be our base. One moment, bear with me. Okay. So I'm just going to paint in that plate. Oh, let me do two. So I still have some excess paint in my brush. And then the next color would be green. the green paint will just be dropped on the blue one. And then I would need more of that black paint, which now seems to be missing. Okay, I found the black paint. My apologies for that. Okay, so I'm just going to put some black paint in my palette. And now I'm just adding some water to the black paint. And first thing I'm going to do with the black paint is to paint the edges. Then allow it to mix. It's drying a bit, so I'm going to drop some black paint in the middle part of the shell. And I'm going to do the same thing here on this one. Edges first. And some on the middle part. Okay. And then I'm going to get some water and spread this within that plate. So that when it dries, it looks more natural. And by the way, this happened because I took so long looking for the black paint and putting it into the palette. So now we'll get some blue paint again. And then we will paint the next one, which is this one. And then this one as well. Again, we'll do two at a time, and then the last one, this one by itself. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm going to get some green paint, drop it there inside. Well done me. Black paint on the edges. Again, if they touch each other, that's okay, but try not to do that. Okay, so you'll just try and mix it a little bit with our brush. On the paper. Okay, and I will do the last one. Oops. It's much better, more water. So we painted it with blue. Now let's drop some green paint on it. And then some black. Again, start at the corners, the edges. That's perfect. Let's mix the paint now on the paper like that, so that it looks more natural when it dries. So we've done very well there. And we're going to do the same thing with the smaller ones, but we'll let this part dry a little bit first. So at this point, we will proceed to do the head area, which is small round shapes, well, not too small. Okay, but only here up to the upper part of the mouth. And then once we've done that, let's add some more here. Okay, once we've done that, we'll do the eyes. And for the eyes, we'll use blue. Okay, we won't paint that white area right at the middle of the circle, but we will paint the rest with blue. And then we will paint the inner droplet blue again. Okay. Okay, and now we will paint the circle, the outer circle black, which is, this is what I mean by the outer circle. Okay, I've lost the white area. I'm trying to leave that small bit lighter. And then here, I'm going to paint this area with black. So that's the shape of the droplet. Okay. Then I'm just going to try and lift the excess paint. There you go. I'm gonna turn it around. Look at my turtle. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking very good actually. So now we just have to do this bit, the background, and we're done. Okay, so again, just like those big plates, we'll do the small plates in a similar manner. So blue first. Okay, I will do half of it all at once. Or maybe all of it. Let's see if our blue paint is fluid enough. I think it is. Okay, I think we're doing pretty well. So it's fluid enough so we can do this all together. Now we are going to drop green in all of them. Yes, not all in the same areas. We just drop green randomly inside those plates. And now it's time to paint the black areas. So we'll start with the small one. Let's start with the edges. This one, edges. This one. Again, try not to let them touch each other because we do want those white spaces, but if it's unavoidable, that's fine. Okay, if you um, feel that it's drying quite quickly, do each block instead of two, three, or even just one at a time. It doesn't have to be all of them in one go. You can do it the same way we did this bit. So it depends on how fast your paint is drying. So just like the bigger ones, we are mixing the paint here on the plate itself. Okay. Wow. That is amazing. This turtle looks amazing. I love it. So now I just want to put more dimension on it. We didn't do that in the glass because I think the colors are quite intense. But in this case, I want to dilute some black paint, make some sort of shadow in some areas. Like for example, this area. And also below the shell, this one. Right below the shell, I think it should have some sort of shadow. And this one, the brown paint should be here, up to that point, right before the shell, because it's actually coming out of that shell. Okay. Oh, and this is an important one. It should be dark here in this area so that we can see the separation of the head and the flipper. Okay, we're almost finished now. All we need is the background. And the background, I'm telling you, it's quite easy to do. All we have to do is to paint it with water. Okay, we'll do it area by area. So we'll paint this area with water like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use blue as my base for this ocean view, under the ocean view. And then I'm gonna drop some green on it. And that is for balance because there's some green in the turtle on the shell. And then I'm gonna move to this side with my not so clean brush and then paint this with water. And then paint it with some blue paint. So that is beautiful. And then drop some green paint on it. I'm gonna lift the excess paint. We don't want to create a puddle. And then we'll work on this part now. So just paint it with water. And then some blue paint. Okay, and then here I'm going to be a little bit careful here in this area. Yeah, so I don't want the paint to bleed into the background. So some more green paint here, again for balance. And the last area that we have to do would be this one. Yes, with my paint it with water. Yes, and as you can see, I have my not so clean brush doing that. But again, I'm not really worried because the colors are quite related and it's the colors that we are using for the background. So here, and then drop some green paint here. And remove any excess paint. Wow, this is fantastic. So now we have our turtle completed. And It's a more realistic version of turtle as compared to the one we did in the previous session. So I hope you enjoyed painting this one, your turtle underwater, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.